One ringy dingy. Two ringy dingy.
Greetings from Fairfield. We are Richard and Kendra, and we are restoring this cool old Victorian house. We found this old Queen Anne for sale on the internet and decided to buy it. So we moved from the West Coast to the cornfields of Iowa. So join us as we explore and restore this 1896 Victorian mansion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. You don't say. It's for you.
Greetings from Fairfield, and welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back to the James A. Beck House. So relax, pull up a chair as we proudly present the dining room. The dining room was one of the first rooms that we started working on here at the house with the new wallpaper. Because we had a big crack in the wall. All right, so we'll start here. So a lot of things we get asked a lot of times, like, how do you know what projects to do first? When? The house will tell you. If you own an old house, you'll know that the house will tell you what it needs and when it needs it. This, when we moved in, had a big crack up the wall from the bottom of this baseboard here up into almost the height of those rosettes. And while we were here, it just kept getting worse and worse. The plaster was separating from the lath and the pieces were just like barely hanging on. If we didn't do something soon, the plaster was likely just going to come falling off the wall. And so this became more of a priority as we were working on other things. That was why we started working in here first. And I didn't know anything about plaster repair, so I went to YouTube, pulled up some YouTube videos on a product called Plaster Magic, and watched those and thought I'd give it a go. And it turned out pretty good. I didn't do any footage because, well, I didn't really know what I was doing and didn't want to make a fool of myself. So did take some pictures along the way, and here are those results. So once we got the plaster work done over there, was pretty happy with those results. We started stripping the rest of the wallpaper. Of course, we had to pick out a wallpaper, which led us to this. This wallpaper we chose based on a pattern by a British textile man by the name of William Morris. Famous for his sort of leaf motifs and flower arrangements, which we found in a lot of older wallpapers as we were stripping the various rooms down and looking for clues of what might have been here, and ended up going with that for the dining room. It's a burgundy, deep red, brown, and metallic gold print. Little flashback to see what it looked like before we started. This wallpaper was put up back in 1964, so it's had a good run.
Hey, honey. What you doing?
I'm basting a turkey.
You're basting a turkey, huh?
What do you look like I'm doing?
I don't know. You tell me.
Getting ready to wallpaper the next room.
Getting ready to wallpaper the next room. Cool. What you doing?
Writing my next hit song.
You're writing your next hit song, huh? Because it looks like possibly, if I zoom in just a little bit, I can see you doing
Wallpaper liner.
wallpaper liner. That's the word. I knew it was something. Putting wallpaper liner on before you put the new wallpaper on in the dining room. Oh, so pretty. I'm gonna just go past the mess. Wow. Empty walls are amazing. Can't wait to get the doorbell back. That is so cool.
So, in regards to the wallpaper and how we're arranging the wallpaper to the main 4 rooms on this floor, one thing that was kind of interesting, a little design thing that we picked up from the previous owner that put up their wallpaper in 1964. They had the same wallpaper with 2 different patterns that they alternated between rooms, and so we're going to kind of mimic that here. This is what we would call, the red room. And to the east, we have the gold room. So essentially, when you're in the gold room, you will see the red room to your right, and in front, you will see, when we get done to it, the red to this room. The same thing is true when you're back in the red room. Looking to the east, you will see the gold, and to the front, you will have the gold again. So we still have some work to do here. We got to get I got to get the trim back up, which also doubles as a picture railing. And speaking of pictures, one of the things that I thought that would be fun to do here is Mr. Beck was a hotel man, had about a dozen hotels throughout the state of Iowa, and thought for the dining room we would decorate with some of the old photographs of some of his old hotels. This was his first hotel from the 1880s. One of the next ones that I got to get pictured and framed, probably one of his most successful that he built, the inn at Lake Okoboji, which he built the same year as he built the house, and completed that 1896 as well. So one of the last hotels we have Beck being the proprietor of is the John Jacob Astor House at Mackinac Island. So thought that'd be a really cool decorative thing to do in the dining room, which then brings us to the next aesthetic of the room, the telephone. Why is this here? When we're stripping off the wallpaper, we noticed a large remnant of older, original 1890s wallpaper that was about this same size as this phone box. Not saying there was phone box here, but it was suspicious as I peeled off the wallpaper why we had original 1890s wallpaper here in this section. There was clearly an obstruction. So when they came in the 1930s to put up the next wallpaper, they literally went around the obstruction. When they came in 1964, they left it, removed the obstruction, and wallpapered the wall. And they didn't remove it because then you'd have this difference in thickness on the walls. And you would have had this impression of where that remnant was. And so they left it, papered over the whole thing. As we did that and we were putting the wall back together, it became apparent we were going to have to do something about the thermostat, which was on the wall. And so these older phones, this phone here is from 1890s. I'll take this back off. Older phone, 1890s to probably 1900, probably no later than 1901. So it is time period of the house. The older phones had what was a battery box here, so the battery would be in this box. Later phones that followed up into 1902, 1905, 1910 were much smaller and compact. They were still crank wall phones, but they were much smaller. Later replaced with then just the candlestick style phones. But this battery box was an ideal place to hide the thermostat. Has a complete open bottom. We ran it all winter, not a single problem. It kept within 1 degree of the main thermostat for the rest of the house. This only controls the boiler, so we only have this turned on between about November to March anyway. So it's only operating for maybe 3-4 months tops. Operates the boiler for the radiators in the house. The rest of the year it's just simply turned off. And it's a great way to hide it.
But does it work?
Oh, that's right. It didn't work. I got rid of the landlines. My idea?
Yes, your idea. The whole reason you're doing this thing.
So, when we removed the wallpaper, we found a really large area of old wallpaper that was about the size of this phone. And so, I thought, what a cool idea it would be to take one of these old phones and turn it into a thermostat cover.
Because the thermostat is ugly.
A digital thermostat does not belong in the year 1896. However, this old crank phone from about 1890-ish, 99 perhaps, pre-1900.
That's all it. So where'd you get it from?
This guy on Marketplace. And he's like, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, well, I'm going to hide my thermostat in it. And he's like, whoa, that's one expensive thermostat cover.
Obviously, he hasn't gone on Etsy looking for a wooden one.
That's what I say. Those things are like $100 for like a little wooden box that, looks okay.
Didn't look right. And they're all the modern patterns.
There was nothing special about it. Now this on the other hand,
it's special.
Not super loud. I hope it would be louder for the dinner bell.
Yeah.
So after I posted this online, got a lot of positive response, but of course there's always that one guy who was like, actually, they never would have put the phone in the dining room. It would have been far too distracting. And to that, good sir, I leave you with this. If you know, you know.